ChatGPT is one of the most advanced AI model out in the market and it sucks at promises. Obviously in JavaScript, let me show you why. Here I asked GPT what will be the output of this program and it gave us this result which is wrong. We will find out the correct output ourselves later in the video. Also in the second program it gave us this output which is also wrong because GPT don't know the concepts that we are going to learn about in this video. GPT sucks, but let me teach you so you don't. So welcome to the day 2 of promises in JavaScript series. In today's video, we are going to learn about returning values from promises, chaining of promises, and also going to solve some mind-boggling questions. Practice problems. So let's get started. Here we have chained two promises and the second then gets executed after the first one. And if any error occurs, then it is caught in the catch method. So that is the simple chaining. Let's come to the scene 2. Here we are calling then method after the catch. So what happens here is that the first two then methods gets executed normally and then it jumps to the third then method by skipping the catch method. Here is the output. But what happens if we chain two catch methods in our promise chain? Let's run it. Here we can see that only the first catch method catches the error and then it executes the then method normally. But what about this second catch method? It doesn't get executed, where we have previously seen that then method is getting called without any problem multiple times. Let me explain you why. In JavaScript promises, catch method is called only once for each reject. Only the first catch method executes and catches the error. But there is no restriction for the then method. So let's try a problem. What will be the output of this program? You can pause the video, try running it on your machine. I hope that you tried it. So the correct output is here. We are rejecting our promise immediately. So the error gets caught in the first catch method. In this case, it's here. Then is executed accordingly because then have no restriction being called. We will understand it much better in our next example. Here we are forming long chain of then and catch methods. In the second then, I have mistakenly passed the value parameter which is wrong because we are not returning anything from the first then. So nothing will be passed here. Let's see how it behaves when we are resolving our promise. Here we can see the output that it simply prints the output from the then method as we have expected. Now let's see how it behaves when we are rejecting our promise. Here we can see that our promise is rejected and error is caught in the first catch method. And as we have learned that first catch method catches the error and the rest catch methods are ignored. Let's chain some more than methods after the first catch, or some more than methods after the second catch also. Here we can see The first catch method catches the error and prints the output. And after that, every then method is executed consecutively while ignoring the catch methods, because we have learned that catch method is called only once, but then method gets called consecutively. But here is the catch: any catch method or every catch method is ignored before the first catch method when we reject our promise or when the promise is rejected. Here I wrote this example where I am returning some value from then and catch methods. But as you can see, I am also throwing error instead of returning value. So let's run it. By seeing the output screen, I think you guys are flabbergasted, because in the output we can see that catch methods are called twice. But how could that be possible? Because previously we have learned that only the first catch method gets executed when promise is rejected. You guys can get out of shock now, because today I am on explain spree. But before I explain, let's see the next output. Now, instead of throwing error, we are returning an error using the error constructor. I hope that gives you some idea that why catch was called twice. Because there is a huge difference between throwing an error and returning an error. The error constructor forms the error object, but throwing an error invokes the actual error in the runtime environment. And because promise is still in the execution context, promise is rejected again. Hence, the next catch handles the error accordingly. I want you guys to pause the video and dry run this program on your own. Let's dry run it together. Here first, we are resolving our promise with the true condition, and then method handles it. And from this then method, we are returning a new promise but with the false condition. So our promise gets rejected, and the first catch method in the chain handles the error and prints the error message. But from this catch method, we are returning error caught as a string, and the chain continues and the next chained method executes and prints the string error caught, and it is handled by the then method. And from this method, we are returning another promise with the true condition this time, which results in resolving the promise. But there is no further than method in the chain, hence the execution stops. I want you guys to solve this last question on your own, and in the next video we will dry run it together, where we will learn about async and await and try and catch block. If you forgot again to subscribe and like, do it now. Adios.